The NFL stands for not for long.
Set, Sharga and Armstead. Roll out, Walker still running out. Looks to the left, wide open, Thompson touchdown. Colin Thompson with the touchdown. There was nobody within 20 yards of him.
What a catch off the bobble. Colin Thompson scoops it up.
Lofting corner, the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. The first NFL touch for Colin Thompson is a score.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Colin Thompson Show, presented by Not For Long Media, our wonderful media company here, and our friends over at the original Fudge Kitchen. You know the drill. Saltwater taffy, sweet treats. Love the chocolate-covered pretzels, the chocolate-covered strawberries, and all the awesome stuff they have, including their handcrafted fudge. When you talk to the people that were the originators of those recipes, the Bogle family, the Bogle brothers, who owned it for 50-plus years, they say the difference is the salt air. You can make fudge anywhere in the world, but the salt air, the humidity, the moisture in the air is why the original Fudge Kitchen makes the best fudge in the world. FudgeKitchens.com, shipping fudge and sweet treats around the country. Check them out. They'll ship it right to your door. The original Fudge Kitchen, FudgeKitchens.com. Hope everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving. It's been a crazy week in my house, just running around. Everyone's happy and healthy. Great to have family in town. Excited for the holiday season. Weird being out of the NFL, but that's okay. That's a part of life. That's a part of this journey of the league that every player says they're preparing for, but they're really not. It's tough. It's been something that I've been doing since I was in sixth grade, 12 years old. And then now at 30, 18 years later, you can't do it anymore. So not retiring yet. Still feel great. Still training. But, the end is sadly coming near and transition into a few things. Either it's going to be media or coaching or whatever that may be. I don't know yet, but a couple things rolling on. Speaking of coaching, the Temple job, Casey Keeler, really excited for him, his family, for him to get back to the area. That's awesome. I think it's the perfect hire for Temple. I think Elijah Robinson would have been a great hire. He's a Temple guy. He's from Camden. But other than Elijah, KC is the perfect person. I mean, KC fits the bill of someone with extensive coaching experience, someone who won at all levels with very little, right? Temple is a place where you don't have the resources of other schools, even other schools in the American Athletic Conference, right? Think about the resources that Army has, Navy has. Let's see. Now, it used to be Cincinnati, Houston, UCF. They moved on. They had a ton of resources. They're in the Big 12. But at the end of the day, like even ECU, right? If you go to ECU and you go to that stadium, man, that's a serious football town. The town shuts down for that football program. Philly, the town keeps moving, and some people don't even know where Temple is. So the resources are not the same. And someone who can do more with less is the perfect person for that job. Credit to Arthur Johnson and his team there for doing a great job, because I think that's the right guy for it. A couple people text me, asked me, what do you think? I went to the press conference this week. I thought Casey was great, was able to meet him. Great showing. A couple hundred people were there to see him come in as the head coach at Temple University. Honestly, very excited about it. Genuinely jacked up about it. Interested to see who the hire is going to be when it comes to coordinators, position coaches, recruiting coordinators, how they're going to structure this thing, right? I think people aren't really grasping when you're talking to Temple fans and coaches and even some of the stuff that KC says. They're 100% right. It's local connections. It's recruiting. But I've done a ton of research into this thing. I've talked to so many people. I've talked to coaches that were all developmental based, and you're going to take these kids that are no stars, and you're going to develop them and all. That's over. Those days are done. Like, the local connections are great, but at the end of the day, 50+% of your roster is turning over. Teams around college football. Deion Sanders said it first, pissed a lot of people off. I'm telling kids, you're leaving. You don't have a job here anymore. That's how it is. That's how it is now. And he got crushed for it. Deion, again, ahead of the trend. But he's 100% right. Schools I know where my friends are coaching, 60 new players. 60 new players. Think about that. 120 kids on the team. 60. Freshmen in high school and transfers. JUCO, college. That's reality. So, I see people on these different Facebook pages and all this stuff kind of freaking out. It's like, hey, ease up. This is how it is now. And for Temple, we need to wrap our head around how things are going to be moving, and things are going to be moving quickly, and players are going to be transferred in, players are going to be transferred out. It's completely changed. Hold on one second here. We got tech difficulties. All right, we're back. Some tech difficulties on my end. Hope it's coming through clear and okay. So the bottom line is college football is changing rapidly. What I'm hearing from all the people I'm talking to, $22 million institutional fund salary cap. Every university is going to have those institutional funds. Okay? How you raise that funding? TV money, ticket sales, sponsorships, partnerships, donations, fundraising. That's $22 million. That's the cap you can raise. People will come in less. What I'm hearing, there's going to be a floor for these main conferences of like, you can't go below this number. You need to fill a roster of X to stay in this conference. That's what I'm hearing, which is interesting. NIL will become more about true return on investment, your ROI, right? You sponsor Colin Thompson, who plays football at Temple. We're going to pay him $1,000 a month to tweet about a cheesesteak place or SEPTA, or I'm wearing a CCM hat, a CCM or Wells Fargo, whatever it is. That's going to be back to what it is. I think you're going to supplement a little bit with NIL with players, like the old version of NIL, pay to play. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be just straight up what it is, hey, listen, you're coming here. Everybody on our roster is going to be making $50,000 a year minimum or $100,000 a year minimum. How I would do it, I would tier players. So, and then give players player performance bonus like they do in the NFL. So I'm kind of all over the place, but $22 million salary cap. You can raise it in several ways. That's for every sport in the athletic departments. I could see some sports and some athletic departments going to clubs so they don't get a piece of the pie. That's a touchy subject. That's going to happen. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what's happening. So you have your $22 million. The athletic department, it's their decision what to do, what piece of the pie, how big that pie is going to be for each team. I'm hearing $12 to $14 million for the big boys, Big Ten, SEC. They're going to be able to use to build their roster. Anything they want past that, I think they're going to go to the NIL with, right? So it's going to be more of a cherry on top than the main thing, which is good for, Temple and these other places because they're going to have some funds. Even if it's, hey, you got $6 million to build your team. We had $0 to build the team last time. So these checks will be coming from the university, which is really unique. Again, turnover is going to happen. It's not that I don't like this school or don't like that school. It's way different. Way different. So if you're a 4- and 5-star recruit, it's really important that they're getting recruited heavily. The developmental guys will fall to the lower levels, even FCS and Division II, and they'll play well and work their way back up. Look what Indiana did. Most of their team are transfers from the MAC, from FCS, right? So that's a proven way to do it. Cignetti came in and flipped the whole thing on the head, right? All these guys are old school developmental guys. Maybe you had a player or two in the portal. Now, everyone's going after it. So the portal's going to be crazy. That opens up next week. That's going to be absolutely bedlam going after those players. Who falls through the cracks, who doesn't. Your scouting department is going to be very big. It's completely changed, guys. Personally, I think you got to pay coaches a little bit less. You got to take some of that money and you got to build a front office. I would take coaches off the street recruiting as much. It doesn't matter. You can recruit a player all you want. If he gets $20,000 to go somewhere else, he's gone. He's gone. And that's a waste of time, money, and resources. There's a way to do it, right? There's a way to go about it. I'm not saying you don't recruit. I'm not saying you don't go back to some of the old school stuff. I'm just saying I think people need to look down the road a little bit and say, it's changing. How can we move money? Do we need to have these huge recruiting budgets anymore? Or do we need to have 1 or 2 visits? Because guys in transfer portal are just showing up, right? Colin Thompson transferring. He'll be in today at 2:00. Position coach, I need you to be there. Head coach, you got to be there. GM, you got to be there. And the strength staff, I want you to meet with them because, he's looking to get stronger, whatever. And that's it. And then it's what's the cash like at the end of the journey? Or here's the opportunity to play for you. And you're a kid who's not getting cash elsewhere. But that's it, guys. Like everyone's like, you got to hit the road recruiting. No doubt. But how many kids at Temple signed yesterday? 5? 4? 4. We were signing 30-person classes when I was in college, 25, right? How you supplement it? You're bringing in 5 kids and then 20 transfers. You're not recruiting those transfers. But you need to have local relationships and connections, because when those kids transfer home, most of the kids come back within a 100-mile radius of where they grew up. So anybody from Jersey, Delaware, Philly, New York, DC, right? From DC to New York, you have to have relationships with. So you got to build relationships and connection and touch points with these individuals. But at the end of the day, like, they're going to leave. You just got to be ready for them when they hit the portal to come back home to play at Temple. So it's changing. I think there needs to be a general manager, there needs to be a director of recruiting, handling all the touch points of these people, and there needs to be a director of scouting. It needs to be built like an NFL situation. I think you got to be paying GMs just as much as coordinators. And I think your position coaches need to coach a lot of football. Your coordinators need to coach a lot of football and focus on football, because these kids are coming in. You got to develop them. They got to get in your system quickly so you can play fast. I think it's going to hurt the quality of the football a little bit. You don't get these guys that are building and playing football for 3-4 years, developing, and then starting as redshirt juniors, redshirt seniors. You're coming in as a freshman, you're playing at a MAC school, knowing that I'm going to play 2 years there. I'm going to be better my second year, and I'm going to get plucked out by a Big Ten or SEC. That's just how it goes. So I don't think fans understand it. I don't even think some coaches understand it. When you're talking to people, I'm on the outside here, guys, and I've done 6-7 months of research on this because I've been a free agent. And I said, hey, listen, I'm going to dive into this thing and learn as much as I can. So if I get into coaching, I'm prepared for it. It's changing. Restructure the whole thing, because if the quicker you do that, the quicker you pivot, the better off you'll be, my opinion. And again, I'm not just addressing Temple. I'm just talking about, again, I have so many buddies that are doing this. These are all the guys I grew up with. They all got into coaching. They're all 30 years old, and they're all feeding me this stuff like, hey, man, it's changing quickly. So I'm interested to see how it's all going to shake out. Nothing's done yet. How's Title IX going to get involved? I've heard from some people too. A Big Ten GM told me that some players could sue back for wrongful payment. I don't know the term. Someone's probably saying, Colin, you don't know, what are you talking about? Everybody on the team is going to get minimum wage. That's what they're saying. This is from a Big Ten GM. Everyone on the team will get minimum wage, period. So it's like a couple thousand, like maybe $1,000 or $2,000 a month. So you'll make, $12,000 to $20,000, say $24,000, somewhere in that range for your work. So you feel like, so you were paid while everyone else was paid. So this is a lot to unpack. It's a lot of business stuff, and you got to go NFL model. Front office scouts, football handles football, strength handles strength. Mesh the cultures together through a good head coach. That's why Keeler, I'm excited about the hire. The guy's seen it all. I don't think anybody's seen what's coming now, though. This is a way different ballgame. This is different than NIL. So everyone's like, oh, NIL's around. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same, right? There's going to be salaries. There's going to be this. There's going to be 1-year deals, more binding contracts. To go into the player performance bonus thing I mentioned, how it works in a league is it per play, right? Per play, you get paid, right? If you're a first-round pick, let's just say you're Lane Johnson, right? Right tackle for the Eagles. I don't know what Lane's deal is, but I bet you Lane gets paid. I don't know. And no one can ever figure out what it is. Is it based off the highest paid player in your position room? Is it based off where you got drafted? It's like a weird thing. So it's like a little bonus built in. So essentially, if you're undrafted, you get like $700 a play. If you're a first round pick, you get like $20 a play. So if you have guys like me, I think the 1 year my buddy Brian Poole at Florida got, all the bonuses get public. They're like $600,000, $700,000 bonus because you were undrafted and you played X amount of reps. So you get more money. So my tight ends in Carolina, my boys will put me in for all the kneel downs at the end of game or end of half. Because that's a play. Kickoff out the back of the end zone, that's a play. Backside of field goal, we don't even get touched. That's a play. That's $700 a pop, right? So it's a great thing that players look out for each other in the league with, knowing it's coming. You'll see backup players go in for kneel downs. That's money. So I could see that happening in college football too, where you're a bottom of the roster guy. Hey, you're a developmental player, but if you get in, so it keeps guys incentivized. If you go into a game and you play a snap, it's $100 a snap, $20 a snap, and that goes into your salary cap and your bonus structure. So again, NFL model quickly. And these head coaches need another head coach that runs the other side of it, fundraising, salary cap. all that stuff. A lot of good stuff there. Lots to unpack. And that's coming quickly. August 1 is what I'm hearing. Everything changes for the salary cap. $22 million. Institutional funds will be paying players on top of the NIL deals, right? So it's about to get wild. It's about to get wild in college football. If it's not wild already, can't wait for the playoff too. Like, this is great. Like, I'm not been able to watch as much when you have a kid. You can't do all this stuff. But again, Pat Kraft's a buddy of mine at Penn State. I support them, even though it hurts me as a Temple alum. But a home game for Penn State in the middle of December for playoffs, cold. And that's the type of football I love, man. I'm missing football now than ever, watching the Michigan State Rutgers game and it's snowing. I'm like, oh my gosh, NFL games, the snow, Buffalo. Like, I love that, man. That was my stuff. I love the weather games. I'm like, great. Everyone's as slow as me now. Now I'm playing in the same arena. Now I can play on level playing field. I loved it. Loved it. All right, let's transition to the NFL here. What a weekend it was. Incredible weekend. I think we had 12 games under a one-score game. And then I think that's an NFL record. And then the Browns game, that was a 9-point game. So just missed it. We could have been 13 there. What a great game that was. Jameis Winston and the Browns. What a completely different team when he's playing quarterback. He's fun to watch. The guy's, as a player, I've always admired him. I love his juice, love his energy. Thinks he controls. He's all in it. I respect that. All right, let's transition to the Eagles here. Let's get it back to the phone. 610, Nick Foles or Carson Wentz. That was my favorite era of Philadelphia sports talk radio. Was out of control. It was just, God bless it. God bless it. Radio's dying, but Philly sports talk radio and Philly's keeping radio alive. Philadelphia, how are you? Philadelphia Eagles have been absolutely dominant. And it's really for one reason and one reason only. They decided this is who we're going to be, and we're not going to apologize for it. We are going to be physical. We are going to be smash mouth. We are going to be this, and you have to stop it. The best teams have a brand. The best teams have a culture. But really, the best teams say, this is what we do. Good luck stopping it. And the Eagles finally decided, we are going to hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. We are going to run gap scheme, power, pull tackles and guards, have jet sweep go one way, Jalen Hurts pull it the other way, Saquon Barkley running awesome runs. The offensive line's the strength of the team. We're not going to ask Jalen Hurts to be Joe Burrow throwing it all around the yard. And because of the run game, it opens everything else up. The team's exploded. And that's been the biggest question mark before. You're like, man, this team every week is different. One week they're throwing it all over the yard. The next week they're running it every play. You have the best O-line in the NFL. You got one of the best all-around blocking and catching and everything tight ends in the NFL. You have one of the best backs in NFL history. Your receiving core is the best in the league. Run the ball, open everything up. And it's affected the defense. The defense is rested. There's time of possession on offense. The clock's milking. Defense is playing out of their minds. Became one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NFL. So props to the coaches, props to the front office. That team is loaded. And it's because they're deciding to say, this is what we do. Good luck stopping it, is why now they're a legit Super Bowl contender. Legit. Like, best team in the NFC now. And Detroit's the same way. This is what we do. Good luck stopping it. They're just dinged up. So at the end of the day, Philadelphia Eagles, to me, have played their way into a dominant, legit Super Bowl contender. All right, guys. That's it for me. Quicker shows now. 20 minutes. Kid, taxes, wife, dog, running around. Just kidding. All good. Appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for watching all the Food Drinks Football stuff, guys. We're going to shoot a Cape May Brewing Company episode here soon. Really excited for that. Ryan Krill and his team over there. They're awesome. But Half Shell Wall Bar is done. That came out this week. Awesome. Shout out to our team. Georgia, Luke, Greg, Joe, Jack. What a great team we have at Food Drinks Football getting it done. If you haven't seen it, you're like, what's Food Drinks Football? Go on YouTube. 56,000 views on Shots and Giggles. Really proud of our team for that. And I'm not a views guy. I just believe in good quality work, but it's always nice for the team to say, hey, listen, your work's being viewed. That's really cool. We got 50,000 on First Legal Rum. YouTube wouldn't let us really, it wouldn't like hit any of the algorithms because it said rum and distillery. So we had to like change the name. It just says Palmenta, but it's first legal rum distillery in Key West, Florida. Green Parrot's coming up soon. Frenchie's is coming up next. Great place in Clearwater Beach. Love going there. One of my favorite bars in the world. Yeah, so check it out. First legal rum was awesome. Shots Giggles awesome. Half Shell Raw Bar awesome. Green Parrot's coming. Zydeco's coming. Houston. Los Gringos, the GOAT, best Cuban restaurant I've ever had. Cuban breakfast restaurant for sure. So that does it for me. Again, hope everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving with their family and friends. A lot to be thankful for. I'm always thankful for football. It changed my life. Hope everyone had an awesome weekend. Hope everyone has a great weekend upcoming. And thanks for listening to the Colin Thompson Show, presented by Not For Long Media and brought to you by the original Fudge Kitchen, fudgekitchens.com. They'll ship it right to your house.